What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So I'm going to be doing a video about my newest firearm purchase. I'm going to also be talking about why I purchased this firearm and why the inside of my safe looks very different than it has in the past, I don't know, 5 years, give or take. So anyway, guys, let's get into it. So last week I picked up a new firearm. All right, so I picked up a new firearm that I'm going to be putting into my carry rotation. I haven't been able to take it to the range yet, which I'm going to be doing here shortly, just to get a feel for it and stuff like that. So we're going to be talking about the Canik TP9 SF Elite. All right, so this has been around for a few years now. It's actually a nice gun, it's really good. Definitely best bang for your buck if you catch my drift. But I'm going to talk a little bit about this and why I picked it up. But first, I want to let you know what's happened in my safe lately. So in the past 5 years, I've been doing this channel for a while. We're actually past 30,000 subscribers now. And what's been going, I've always had like a Glock to compare my firearms with. Hey, here's the Glock 19, here's the Glock 17, Glock 23, all that, Glock 30. I've been showing a various amount of Glocks. Well, my safe is Glockless, 100% Glockless now. Now, the reason it is Glockless is actually a couple things that I've, a couple reasons over the years that I've picked up as why I'm not carrying Glocks anymore, why I don't usually shoot Glocks very often or anything like that. And all kind of added up together, and this is kind of why I got rid of them. So first things first, Glock is a damn good pistol. Okay, they've been around for a while. I mean, it's safe to say Glock is one of the most well purchased, what do you say, the best way to put it, Glock is probably one of the most popular firearms in America, 100% probably in the world. It's a very popular firearm, but it has been around for a while. In my opinion, it's an outdated striker fire pistol. Not, some people get hurt with that. It is what it is. And I've never been a huge fan of them. And if you guys have followed me for all these years I've been doing this video, you know why. I've never been a huge fan of Glocks. But basically what they are is, for me, a Glock with the way how my hands are shaped. I'm 6'1", I'm a 280-pound dude. I have a unique size hands. I have a massive hand grip here. Then I have like these smaller hands there. I need XL gloves and stuff like that at work. But when I'm shooting a Glock, regardless of the size, regardless of the back straps I put on it, regardless of grip force adapters that I put onto it, Glocks always cut into my hand. They always cut into the hand, just because the way how big, meaty my hands are, it just cuts into my hands, and I'm a damn good shot with them. I've been shooting them very well, but they don't work very well for me. Now, I'm also a firearms instructor, but the majority of the people that I train are brand new shooters that have never touched a gun before. So I'm teaching them basics of firearm safety. I take my guns out to the range and I have them shoot them, and I basically teach them how to use a firearm safely and how to hit the target accurately is what the goal is. Now, I usually give a selection of choices for them to actually use, and Glock 19 has been very popular over the years. But in the last about 2 years, I'd say, it has just, no one in my classes even want to touch a Glock anymore. And when they do shoot a Glock, they're not a big fan of it, because I usually also bring my M17 out there. So if you don't know what an M17 is, if you're in the gun community, you should know this by now. But if not, M17 is a 6-hour P320. It's what the Army picked up for the next-gen pistols, what they're using. So it's now in the contract of U.S. Army, where all the other branches went with the M18, which is a carry size, so it's a compact size with a full-size grip, whereas the Army used the M17, which is basically just a full-size pistol all over. All of my students in my class prefer to shoot the 320 over the Glock, and most of them, the reasons they don't want to shoot the Glock is, one, it doesn't fit their hand properly, and two, they don't like how it shoots. They don't like the angle that they have to put on their hand, whereas when they hold the P320, the M17, they really love the feel of that gun, and they prefer shooting that for the actual classes. So what's been happening with my Glocks is literally been sitting in my safe, And I've said it multiple times in my channel before. If it sits in my safe for any long period of time and I'm not using it, I get rid of it. All right, and that's what's been happening. All my Glocks, none of my students want to use it. I've never been a huge fan of Glocks. Like I said, they cut up my hand, although I'm a really good shot with them. So I am done with the Glocks. I traded in all my Glocks. I picked up a Ruger Blackhawk, which is a fun gun. And, you know, basically that's what's been going on. But anyway, so now we're going to get into this whole Canik, why I actually went with a Canik. Now, if you remember, what I said about the Glock is, in my opinion, it's kind of an outdated striker fire pistol. Now, why I say that, like I said, I know there's some people that can be upset with that, is they market themselves as Glock Perfection, all right? And there's nothing perfect about the Glock pistol, all right? You can customize it a lot, but there's nothing perfect. Out of the box, if you don't buy anything special on it, it comes with crappy sights, it comes with, it works, it gets the job done, it's an accurate gun, it's easy to shoot. But when it comes with crappy sights, the ergonomics are a little bit kind of more designed for a weaver stance. A lot of people might disagree, but if you have a weaver stance and your thumbs are actually up like this, you actually have a high, you won't be cutting or grooving your hands out on the Glock, whereas the modern day teachings, the thumbs forward grip, basically is how most of us shoot these days. Glock doesn't like those very much. Now, especially depending on the size of the hands, larger hands you will get cut up, even smaller people's hands you get cut up with it, whereas if you have the weaver grip, when it's like that, you won't have an issue with it. Now, Glock has been around for a very long time and they haven't made any improvements. Now, over the last 10 years, let's say there's been a lot of different striker fire pistols that have come to market. And one that has kind of caught my eye for a while was Canik, Canik TP9s. Now, if you don't know about Canik, basically speaking, Canik is made in Turkey. Some people say the name is Shanik. I don't know. I just call it Canik. It's made in Turkey, all right? And it's cheaper to make the firearm out in Turkey. However, it is a very good quality firearm. The products they put into it, the work they put into it, makes it a very good, high quality gun. And then that firearm is shipped out to here to, I believe it is Century Arms. Let me check. It is, yes, Century Arms. It's shipped out to Century Arms, and that's marketed in the US. And because of that, the sale of a Canik, for example, is basically you're talking about $399, $400 out of the box is what you'll pick up for, like this one right here, TP9 SF Elite, which is basically the same exact size as a Glock 19, that same type of carry category. So now with this $400 pistol, all right, which basically looks like a P99 clone. If you don't know what a P99 is, it's a Walther P99. It was made famous by, you know, Pierce Brosnan and was it The World Is Not Enough? That's a good James Bond. What was the other one that it was in? Was The World Is Not Enough was primarily one that was in, but the one before that, Live Another Day or Die Another Day, I don't remember what it was. That's when he was first introduced to it. He's like, oh, I've always wanted a new one of these. And he kind of made it popular. Now the P99 basically looks like this, okay? Has this little, you know, curvature on the back, and it has the that's a fire pin. It's kind of, what do you call it? The this basically tells you that the striker is cocked, not firing pin. It tells you that striker is cocked. It came with this, except it was a double action pistol. It had a decocker up here, you know, but it could be a single action pistol. So after you fired that first shot, you could decock it and have the trigger make it into a double action, but you didn't have to decock it, and it could stay a single action pistol. So it was a very popular pistol. They're actually coming out with their final edition of it, which is like a OD green bottom, and it's like their going away edition of it, and a lot of people love the P99. Now, Canik was actually designed after the P99. As a matter of fact, the first Canik TP9s that came out had the decocking mechanism that was still on the P99 that people actually fell in love with when it came to the P99. Now, over the years, though, over a couple of years, a lot of people have been giving Canik feedback, and Canik actually listens to the customers, listens to the YouTubers, listens to the streamers, listens to the shooters, the professional shooters, and they upgrade their guns so it fits into those categories of what people want when it comes to those pistols. Whereas something like Glock, it never changes. It barely ever changes. Oh, we have the new model. Except now the Gen 5 model is basically a Gen 2 model because they're going back in time instead of going forward and coming up with a new product. So what Canik has done is, over the years when they released their first gun, the TP9 SF, basically, it was just a TP9 is what they had. Had a decocking mechanism and stuff like that. People were like, oh man, this thing shoots good. It's got the trigger. It's just like a P99. And then they wanted a they wanted a striker fire version of it. So they're like, okay, we'll make a striker fire version of our TP9. So they made the striker fire version of the TP9. And then people are like, wow, this is such a good gun. I wish there was more of a carry size model of this gun. So Canik says, oh, that's a good idea. So let's make a TP9 SF Elite. This is the size of a Glock 19, basically. And they made this subcompact version of it. Like, congratulations, you have a carry version of it. And they come with different stuff that Glock will never have on it. So for example, out of the box, the Canik TP9 SF Elite, it has fiber optic front sights, which glow like crazy in the sunlight. You have these combat sights, so I forgot the actual name of the sights. Warren Tactical, there it is. Warren Tactical combat sights on it. It has a undercut, a slight undercut down here. The trigger in this thing, oh my god, the trigger in this thing is so nice. It reminds me of the PPQs, the PDP. I've been picking those up too. It isn't quite in the same category as the Walther PDP. However, the trigger on it, I'm telling you, it's probably about 3.5, maybe 4 pounds. Like I said, I don't have a measuring, but just the way how it feels, you're like, wow. It has almost no take up. It has a little bit of take up in it. Has cock it first, has a little bit of take up in it, has that wall that breaks, then it has this very positive reset, that's a very short reset, and the trigger is just phenomenal in this pistol. It also has kind of similar to the Glock bladed safety in it, so it has those, it has that feature in it. Now, Canik has improved their firearm considerably up to this point. Then after this, guess what? They started making it. People are like, "Wow, these are such good guns. It would be nice if you guys made a competition model." So then they went out and they started making competition models. So there's various versions of competition models. There's the Mete version. There's all these other models that are just phenomenal firearms for the price, and they're like half of the price of like your top line competition gun. Now, the reason I picked up this specific model is, one, because it covers all that categories. It gives me that category of that compact pistol, okay, that compact lightweight pistol. It has a very nice trigger on it, has very nice sights on it. The reliability from every review, everything I've ever watched on this gun, the research I've done into this, the reliability is back to back with Glocks for the most part. So this is just a phenomenal firearm. You don't need a back strap on it because this thing hangs so far over that you literally will not cut it. This is fully ambidextrous, unlike there's a lot of guns out there that aren't. Has the slide, stop, slide releases on either side, just like every other modern day pistol. You can switch over the magazine release to the other side. Has a magazine or the chamber indicator. This gun, for the price, $400 from your FFL, is worth so much more than what you're paying for. So this is one of the biggest reasons that I went out and I switched over to this little guy here. So the Canik TP9 SF is a fantastic gun. I'm very excited to take it out shooting. It also has, I forgot to say, it has the adjustable back straps. It actually has a cutout where it needs to be on the side, where if you need to remove your magazine because it's a double feed, it doesn't have like a little gap over here that just like doesn't make sense. It's how you pull it out. It's actually right here, so you can grab it on the side and rip the magazine out of it. Usually these out of the box, this one out of the box comes with like two 15-round magazines, and unlike all the other guns that are out there like Glocks and stuff like that, it actually comes with nice holsters. Like, it came with this pancake holster specifically for Canik, and this is a really nice holster, like out of the box. So you get a nice holster, you get a nice gun, you get a couple mags, you got phenomenal sights, you got a phenomenal trigger, which overpasses so many customized triggers out there, and you're getting it for $400 at your local FFL. So this is a awesome gun. I'm highly recommending anyone go out to take this gun out. I will be doing taking this out to the range. Hopefully this weekend I'll be taking it out in the range just to get a feel for it, start breaking it in, put some rounds through it. I want to get maybe 150, 200 rounds through it, see how it's going. And we'll see from there, and then I'll do another video telling you a post-range video as how this shot. So anyway, guys, here it is, Canik TP9 SF. It is my new gun. I really like it a lot. It's got this kind of cool, like gunmetal gray, or I don't know what you call it, but it kind of has that kind of interesting look to it. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me, and remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.